Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So, Marco, today we're talking about rent and housing.
Right, we're actually going to be moving. We're going to be going to a new apartment or a new house. And so we're going to look at all the words related to this because sometimes it can be a real hassle, right? It can be really difficult.
Absolutely. Well, you love moving, right? You were telling me how much you love moving your stuff and negotiating a new lease.
Well, I like the negotiation of the lease, but not the moving aspect.
I don't think anyone likes moving.
Actually, I do like it at times because then you can just throw away so many things that you have no need for and you wouldn't throw away unless you moved.
So let's go check out today's dialogue to find out what happens to the characters.
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm gonna have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, we're back. So, well, it's not much of a big deal. I guess if you have your parents nearby, you can just move back in with your parents.
Easier said than done.
True. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's take a look at the words that are used today in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so this first one is an important one because generally when you're looking for a house or an apartment, there are two things you can do. You can buy a house or you can lease a house or apartment. So lease here, Marco.
It's basically to rent, right? It's a contract where you agree to pay a monthly or a quarterly fee for using that house or apartment.
So do you own your apartment or do you lease it?
No, mine, I lease.
Yeah,
I am
I do
not a
too.
homeowner yet.
Right. So owning a home is a lot more expensive at one kind of period where you have to just pay in and you have
Right.
maybe a mortgage. But leasing is just a monthly fee, like you said.
So in this case, they had to leave because their lease was expired.
Exactly. So you can, at the end of a lease, do one of two things. You can stop and you can find a new apartment or you can renew your lease.
All right, and that's our next word. To renew your lease basically means to
continue.
continue.
And this is actually a good word because it can be used with any contract because really a lease is a kind of contract. And so I can say, I renewed my job contract.
Or maybe a magazine subscription.
Yeah,
You
so-
renewed your magazine subscription.
It's a way of saying that you've committed to paying for the next 6 months or 1 year.
Okay. Well, and after that, as we said, the person decided to move in with the parents. So move in.
Move in, well, we can say he moved his car. He put it in a different place. But to move in is actually to change houses or to change apartments. And you're literally moving your things in, you're moving your clothes in, you're moving into a new home. So you're living in a new place.
So in this case, this person is going to live with the parents. Move in. All right. And our next word is when you have to move, you have to pack.
Okay, so you can pack a lot of things. In this case, you're packing a box with all of your belongings, your books and your pillows and all that. But you can also pack a suitcase or you can pack luggage. So packing is putting things into something so that you can move them.
So you can carry them or take them somewhere.
Exactly.
So in this case, you have to pack your things, put them in boxes to take them to your new home. And our last word is an acronym when you said ASAP.
All right, snap. Come on, ASAP, Marco.
ASAP.
Describe this for us quickly.
All right. So ASAP is an acronym for as soon as possible.
Okay, so you often see this in the office on envelopes or emails.
Right.
So please respond ASAP, ASAP. This means please respond right away.
As soon as you can, as soon as possible. All right, so 5 great words that we've just taken a look at. Let's listen to our dialogue again, and we'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm going to have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, we're back and we have a couple of different phrases for you. So let's look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Our first one's a little bit unusual. We heard the phrase, my lease is up. So, Marco, let's talk about this phrase, to be up.
All right, so if something is up, as in this case, the lease, it means it's expired, it's finished, right?
So it's over.
It's over.
You can also say, our time is up.
Right.
If we have a meeting. So that's all the time I have. Time to go away.
Time is up. Very good. So it's always related to time or maybe a contract, as in this case, or your lease is up.
So it means over or finished.
All right, so moving on to our second phrase.
To make way for. All right, so this is a great one. This often makes me think of kings and queens in the old days. They say, make way for the king. So you have to
Get out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way or to clear some space for them to move because there's too much stuff in the way. And so in this case, the owner of the apartment which the guy was living in is trying to make some space or make way for a parking lot.
Right, so he's basically going to sell the building or house and build a parking lot instead. So they are making way for the new parking lot.
They're clearing space. And this is actually really sad because my childhood home, they destroyed to make way for a larger, ugly, big
Building?
house. Yeah.
Really? See, it happens all the time. Now they're making way for malls and big buildings, and all of our little houses are destroyed. And, well, moving on to our last phrase, the person asked the friend if he would mind looking after the pet snake and tarantula.
I would mind.
You don't like snakes or tarantulas?
Well, I don't mind them as long as I don't live with them.
So would you mind? This is a nice way to start a sentence if you want to ask for a favor, right?
Exactly. So here's an alternative. Hey, Marco, can you do this for me?
I could, maybe.
I could say, Marco, would you mind doing this for me?
It's more polite.
It is more polite and it's a little bit gentler. Yeah.
So it's
And so-
nice. It's a nice way of asking someone for a favor.
Exactly. And that's why this is funny because the favor is not like, would you mind watching my kitty? The favor is, would you mind watching my poisonous pets?
Right. All right. So would you mind it? But in the end, the person agreed. So it works, right?
It does work. So would you mind, so listeners, would you mind listening to today's dialogue one more time at its normal speed before we come back to you and talk more about renting an apartment?
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm going to have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, so moving in now, you have different stages in your life, right? When you move out, for example, you move out of your parents' home and you live on your own. And then maybe, like in this case, you would move back in with your parents. How do you see that happening?
I see it very often. My brother just moved back in with my parents.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it depends on the person, honestly. I mean, especially because the economy has really been suffering for the last year. A lot of people are doing this because, you know, in a lot of cities in America, you can spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month for an apartment to rent.
Right.
And that's a small apartment or a shared apartment. And so I understand this is it's a better option now than it was before because everyone wants independence.
Right.
But sometimes you just can't afford it.
Exactly. And it's a cultural thing because some people move out of their parents' home maybe for college. It's very common in the U.S. for to study in another city or another state, right? And but then maybe coming back home and moving in with your parents. Or in other cultures, maybe they don't move out at all. Maybe they only move out once they're married.
Exactly. So a lot of people in China, I think in Shanghai specifically, don't move out of their parents' home until they're going to get married.
Right. Well, it does make sense in many big metropolis because, as you say, rent is expensive. Living on your own is expensive. And, well, you don't have anyone to share those costs with, like gas, water, electricity, even food, right? It's cheaper among more people.
And not to mention a little bit scary living on your own for the first time.
It is a little bit scary. What about having somebody move in with you? Maybe a roommate or a girlfriend or boyfriend?
Ooh, that's always the big step.
The big commitment.
The big commitment. You're in a relationship and you ask your partner to move in with you. It's the step before marriage, I guess.
Wow. There's nothing before that? Nothing before marriage?
No.
That's pretty much it.
You tell me. I don't know.
All right. That's all the time we have for today. But be sure to come to our website, englishpod.com. If you have any questions or any comments about this topic, we would be glad to have your input on it. And we'll see you guys there.
And if you have any suggestions for the step before marriage, please let us know because we're in the dark on this one. So until next time.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. A contract granting use of property.
Lease.
To cause something to continue to be effective.
Renew.
Wrap up.
Pack.
To put articles in a case or container for moving.
Pack.
A building or an area.
Place.
A space for storing goods.
Storage.
Take care of.
Look after.
To create space for something else.
Make way for.
As soon as possible.
ASAP.
Good.
Decent.
Take care of.
Look after.
Let's try that faster. Wrap up.
Pack.
Good.
Decent.
As soon as possible.
ASAP.
A contract granting use of property.
Lease.
Take care of.
Look after.
To put articles in a case or container for moving.
Pack.
To create space for something else.
Make way for.
Take care of.
Look after.
To cause something to continue to be effective.
Renew.
A building or an area.
Place.
A space for storing goods.
Storage.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Lease. We are only leasing the apartment for 1 year. Lease. I didn't buy the car. It's a lease vehicle. Lease. According to your lease, you'll have to pay a fine for destruction of property. Make way for. Make way for the king. Make way for. We'd better make way for that ambulance. Make way for. The company reduced its stock to make way for the new products. ASAP. I want you to clean up this mess ASAP. ASAP. Get back to me ASAP about the details of the deal. ASAP. If we don't finish this project ASAP, we could be fired. Decent. The city government was full of decent, hard-working people. Decent. The car is decent enough. It gets me from point A to point B. Decent. This is a matter of common decency. You should really apologize for your behavior. Look after. We're looking after my friend's dog this week. Look after. Can you look after my daughter while I'm away? Look after. I put Mary in charge of looking after the Jones account.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson about food, one of my favorite things to talk about.
That's right. We are going to talk about food, but specifically, we're going to talk about a family barbecue.
Okay, what is a family barbecue? Well, I'll just say a few words first. A barbecue is usually something that we do outside. We bring food, we play games, maybe have some drinks, and a lot of the food is grilled. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to hear this dialogue first, and then we'll come back to talk about it.
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
Oh no, it's raining!
All right, we're back. So probably a couple of words you didn't really understand. So let's take a look at those now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Lots of food words, Marco. The first one is barbecue. We were talking about that a minute ago. A barbecue is something we do usually for a special occasion or for dinner. It's a summertime thing. You know, you go outside when it's warm and the entire family comes and we have food. Sometimes people even bring food.
Right. And actually, as you mentioned, it's something that you do a barbecue. You have a family barbecue, but it's also a verb to barbecue something. So to cook meat on a barbecue. So that's cooking meat, not in a stove, not with gas. Usually it's under a fire or very warm, intense heat coming from coals.
Exactly. And so before we cook food, usually before we cook meat on the grill, before we barbecue it, we have to marinate it. Okay? So in this situation, the steaks and the chicken are already marinated.
Okay. So to marinate something which is a verb, or the steaks and chickens are marinated, which is an adjective. So basically means that you have added spices and maybe some lemon juice, different herbs or salts to the meats in order to give it flavor before you cook them.
Exactly. Sometimes in Indian cooking, for example, you marinate with a yogurt sauce and you leave the meat in the refrigerator for a whole night.
Exactly.
So marinating or to marinate is a process to give flavor to food.
Very good. All right, so we've marinated our food, our chicken, our steaks, but also we have hamburgers. So we need hamburger buns. What are buns?
Okay, buns are pieces of bread that are for special kinds of food. So you have a hamburger bun. It's a round piece of bread, and the hamburger goes on one piece and under another piece. A hot dog bun is different. It's like a piece of bread that's folded, and the hot dog goes in the middle. So bun is a special kind of bread for these kinds of foods.
All right, so remember, if you want to have a hot dog, you need to buy hot dog buns. So people know already that you're talking about bread. And if you want to buy a hamburger bread, you say a hamburger bun.
That's right. So hamburger buns and hot dog buns. But after we talk about having the hamburger buns, we discuss how many hot dogs we're going to cook. So the person says we should cook a couple dozen hot dogs.
All right, so a dozen is 12 units of something.
Right, so eggs are sold in dozens. We buy a dozen eggs, we buy 12 eggs.
Okay, or you can say half a dozen, that means 6.
Half of 12. And a couple dozen is usually around 24, 25.
Okay, very good. So a dozen hot dogs, and they are also getting kebabs. What are kebabs?
One of my favorite foods, kebabs, are sticks or skewers of meat. So you have a very thin stick, and you put the meat on it, and you put that on the grill, and you cook the meat on the grill.
So, yeah, those are very common. For example, in the Middle East, right? You have kebabs, sticks of meat, and also maybe some vegetables put on it, and you grill them.
Exactly. Very flavorful, very tasty meat.
All right, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and we'll come back shortly to look at some more words.
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we go to a second part of language takeaway and take a look at 5 more words.
Language takeaway.
All right, the first word that we're going to look at is lawn furniture. So we're going to have lawn furniture outside.
Okay, so before we even start thinking about food, we have to decide where people will sit at this barbecue. And so we have to find out how much lawn furniture we have. Furniture can be a sofa, a table, a chair. We have furniture in the house, but lawn furniture is furniture for the outside. A lawn is
Right.
the green grass outside your house.
So it's usually not going to be made out of wood, for example, because if it rains, it might get ruined, right? So usually it's either plastic or maybe even rock or stone.
or metal.
Or metal. So that's what lawn furniture is. Furniture that is made to be outside in your backyard, for example, or that sits on your lawn.
Exactly. And so we're going to be on the lawn furniture. We have the special thing for cooking meat outside, the grill.
Okay, so we mentioned that you grill chicken or you grill steaks, but it's also a noun, a grill. So a grill, what is that?
A grill is like a stove for the outside, but instead of having electricity to make the fire, we have gas or propane. And this is something that we light on fire. We use coals to keep the insides very warm. And so this is just a way to cook meats or even vegetables outside.
Okay, perfect. So that is a grill. And if you're going to cook foods or vegetables in this way, so you're going to grill them. All right. And well, just in case it gets hot and you want to hide from the sun, we are going to set up a tent.
Okay, a tent, you can sleep in a tent, but in this case, a tent is just a covering outside. So maybe some cloth or some fabric that will stand over us when we sit down or want to be outside. It's also a way to protect us from the rain.
Right. So as you mentioned, a tent is something that you set up temporarily made out of cloth or plastic to protect you from the sun or rain, or if you're going camping, you sleep in one. All right, and now that they have all the food, they need cups, and then they mentioned this strange word. It kind of sounds French. Serviettes.
Serviettes. So I do think it comes from the French word. This is a British way of saying napkins.
Napkin.
It's like paper for cleaning your hands and cleaning your mouth that you throw away.
Okay, so you can say napkins, or if you want to sound a little bit more fancier, you can say serviettes.
And speaking of fancy, let's talk about beer. Where do we keep beer? It has to stay cold, right?
Right. So usually you would place it in a refrigerator, but if you're outside or you're going camping, you want to keep them cold, or you want to keep something hot. You place it in a cooler.
Okay, so a cooler is a plastic bin or a plastic box that we put all of the ice in and the drinks. So it's not just for beer, it's also for Coke and Sprite and all these different drinks.
Right, so it's usually made to keep something cool, but as I said, if you want to keep something warm, you can also keep it in the cooler. It keeps the temperature of the foods.
And the nice thing is that it's not electric, so you can use it anywhere.
Right. All right, so that's all the words for today. Why don't we listen to our dialogue for the last time?
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
Oh no, it's raining!
All right, we're back. So family barbecues and doing these things. Did you do these when you were young at home? Do you still like to do it?
All the time. I love barbecues. It's one of my favorite ways to eat food. The nice thing about a barbecue is you get to sit outside and relax, and there's nothing better than nice, fresh grilled meat.
Right, and well, you have all your friends over, so you're having a couple of beers and you're having some meat, and it's actually a really nice way of just having something at home with good friends and family, right?
Exactly, and some of the most important barbecues we have are in the summer near July 4th. And so people like to have July 4th barbecues where you celebrate Independence Day and sit outside and drink and have hot dogs and hamburgers and macaroni and cheese.
Actually, well, I was in Chile. I noticed that as well. Near their festivities for their independence, which is September 18th, a lot of people get together and have barbecues, and it's so popular that pretty much every house in the neighborhood you can smell somebody barbecuing on the weekend.
You're making me so hungry.
Food, a deep dive into a basic need. Food is one of the most essential parts of human life. It is not just a source of energy, but also a way to experience culture, celebrate traditions, and build connections with others. In this topic, we will explore food from different angles, its types, its role in our lives, and how to talk about it in English. This will help English learners improve their vocabulary, sentence construction, and understanding of the topic. What is food? Food refers to substances that people and animals eat or drink to sustain life, promote growth, and maintain health. It is a combination of nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals, which are necessary for the body to function properly. Categories of food. 1. Natural foods. These are foods that come directly from nature. They are not processed or altered. Examples include fruits, apples, oranges, berries. Vegetables, broccoli, spinach, carrot. Nuts and seeds, almonds, peanuts, sunflower seeds. Grains, wheat, rice, oats. 2. Processed foods. Processed foods are altered during preparation. They may include added sugar, salt, or preservatives. Examples are bread, canned soup, packaged snacks. 3. Cooked foods. Cooking changes the texture, flavor, and digestibility of food. Common cooking methods include boiling, baking, grilling, frying, Meals of the day. Meals are the structured times when people eat. Understanding the names and purposes of meals is essential. 1. Breakfast. The first meal of the day, typically eaten in the morning. A healthy breakfast might include eggs and toast, cereal with milk, fresh fruit. 2. Lunch. Lunch is usually eaten in the early afternoon. It is often lighter than dinner but still filling. Examples of lunch foods: sandwiches, salads, rice with chicken. 3. Dinner. Dinner is the main meal of the day, often eaten in the evening. Common dinner dishes include pasta with sauce, roasted meat with vegetables, soup and bread. 4. Snacks. Snacks are smaller meals eaten between the main meals. They are often light and easy to prepare, such as a granola bar, a piece of fruit. Nuts. The role of food in culture. Food plays an important role in expressing culture and identity. Every country and community has dishes that are unique to them. For example, Italy, pizza and spaghetti. Japan, sushi and tempura. Mexico, tacos and enchiladas. Food can also be a symbol of celebration. Think about birthday cakes, holiday feasts, or traditional wedding meals. Talking about food in English. Here are some useful phrases and sentences expressing preferences. What is your favorite food? Example, my favorite food is sushi. Do you like spicy food? Example, yes, I love spicy food. Describing food. How does it taste? Example, it tastes sweet and creamy. Is it healthy? Example, yes, it is rich in vitamins. Asking about meals. What do you usually eat for breakfast? Example, I usually eat cereal and a banana. Can you recommend a good restaurant? Example, yes, try the Italian place near the park. Healthy eating. Eating healthy is important for a good life. A balanced diet includes 1. Proteins found in meat, fish, eggs, and beans. 2. Carbohydrates found in rice, bread, and pasta. 3. Fats found in nuts, avocados, and oils. 4. Vitamins and minerals found in fruits and vegetables. Unhealthy foods like chips and candy are okay occasionally, but should not be eaten every day. Cooking vocabulary. Knowing how to talk about cooking is useful. Here are some words and phrases. Ingredients, the items needed to make a dish. Example, the ingredients for a cake are flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. Recipe, instructions on how to prepare a dish. Utensils, tools used for cooking like spoons, knives, and pans. Advanced vocabulary for food. For intermediate learners, let's practice some higher-level words. Cuisine, the style of cooking from a particular country. Example, French cuisine is famous for its desserts. Flavor, the taste of food. Example, this soup has a rich flavor. Texture, how food feels when you eat it. Example, the bread is soft, but the crust is crunchy. Fun facts about food. 1. Carrots were originally purple, not orange. 2. Honey never spoils. It can last forever. 3. Bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. 4. The most popular fruit in the world is the mango. Practice questions. 1. What is your favorite dish and why? 2. Can you describe a meal you ate recently? 3. Do you prefer home-cooked food or restaurant food? Conclusion. Food is more than just what we eat. It connects us to each other, gives us energy, and helps us learn about the world. By talking about food in English, you can expand your vocabulary and improve your speaking skills. What foods do you enjoy? Try describing them in English.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A meal cooked out of doors, over an open fire. Barbecue. Be soaked in marinade. Marinate. A group of 12. Dozen. Pieces of roasted meat, fish, and vegetables on a skewer. Kebab. Utensil with a metal grate, parallel metal bars, for cooking over a fire. Grill. Portable shelter of canvas, held up by poles, rope, and pegs. Tent. A small square of cloth or paper. Serviette. A container, vessel, or apparatus for cooling. Cooler. Furniture intended for use outside in the yard. Lawn furniture. A round bun shaped to hold a hamburger patty. Hamburger bun.
Let's try that faster.
A round bun shaped to hold a hamburger patty. Hamburger bun. A meal cooked out of doors over an open fire. Barbecue. A container, vessel, or apparatus for cooling. Cooler. Be soaked in marinade. Marinate. Utensil with a metal grate, parallel metal bars, for cooking over a fire. Grill. Portable shelter of canvas, held up by poles, rope, and pegs. Tent. Pieces of roasted meat, fish, and vegetables on a skewer. Kebab. Furniture intended for use outside in the yard. Lawn furniture. A group of 12. Dozen. A small square of cloth or paper. Serviette.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Barbecue. How about we have a barbecue tomorrow night? Barbecue. In the summertime at dinner, there is always the smell of someone in our neighborhood having a barbecue. Barbecue. Can you smell the barbecue? My mouth is watering. Marinate. Marinated steaks are much more tasty and juicier than regular steaks. Marinate. The only thing I know about my friend's secret recipe is that she marinates the chicken breasts overnight. Marinate. Marinating meat makes the meat more tender. Lawn furniture. We have a whole bunch of lawn furniture and a swimming pool in our backyard. Lawn furniture. The home store down the road is having a sale on lawn furniture. Lawn furniture. The party ended abruptly when people started throwing the lawn furniture into the pool. Grill. My favorite food is steak done on the grill. Grill. After you finish cutting up the vegetables, wrap them in some aluminum foil and place it on top of the grill. Grill. You should always clean the grill after you use it. Cooler. We brought a cooler with us to the beach so that we could keep the drinks and the sandwich meat cold. Cooler. He filled up a cooler with ice and then placed the medical specimen carefully inside. Cooler. When we go camping, we always have a cooler or two to keep food cold.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine. Today we've got an intermediate level lesson for you. If you're interested in buying furniture for your house, you should like this lesson.
Exactly. We are going to talk about a ton of different furniture items that you can get to decorate your house to make it all nice.
So we're going to talk about a lot of vocabulary today. Pay attention while you're listening to some of the pieces of furniture that we talk about. We'll be back in a moment to talk more about them.
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So now what we're going to do is, since we have so much vocab, we're going to take a look at this language in two parts. So now let's go to language takeaway part 1.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so everyone's heard of a lamp, a light. This is something that you use to read in the dark, for example, to see in the dark. But in this case, we have a floor lamp. A floor lamp. So this is a lamp you put on the floor.
Yes, exactly. So usually this lamp would be a lot taller. It'll maybe be like a meter taller, 1.5 meters maybe.
Okay, so for example, in your living room next to your sofa, you might have a very tall floor lamp. This allows you to get more light in the room.
Right. So sometimes, the center light in your living room is not enough. You want maybe more light in the corners. You get a little floor lamp. Okay, so that's the first item. Now that we go to the bedroom, we are getting an armoire.
Okay, an armoire. This is kind of like a wardrobe. It's a piece of furniture we use to keep clothes in, but usually they're hanging clothes.
Okay, so a closet is usually inside a wall, right?
Right. So a closet's a part of your house. It's not furniture.
Right. So an armoire is the same as a closet, but it's not in the house, like in the walls. It's outside. It's a piece of furniture. It's a big box.
Yeah, I could pick it up and move it.
Okay.
Yes. So an armoire is a tall place to keep clothing. Usually you hang your clothes. You hang your shirts and your dresses and your coats.
And moving on, we have a dresser. Now, this seems pretty straightforward. To get dressed, you have a dresser.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but there is a big difference here between an armoire and a dresser. A dresser is usually drawers. So you keep your sweaters, your shirts, your socks, your underwear in a dresser.
Okay. So an armoire, as you said, usually you hang your shirts or your pants. It's for hanging stuff only. A dresser is you have different drawers where you can put your socks, your boxer shorts, and any other things that you keep.
Exactly.
Okay. Very good. So two very handy words, and that's what makes the difference between a closet. So many people say, oh, well, it's just a closet. Well, a closet's different.
No, a closet is actually part of your house. It's a part of the wall. Maybe it has a door. And yeah, there's a big difference there.
Okay. So moving on, we have a nightstand that's also usually in the bedroom.
That's right. So I always wondered, why is it called a nightstand and not a day stand? Well, a nightstand, it makes sense. It usually has a lamp on it, a light on it. And so when you're in bed and you want to read, you have a nightstand next to you to put your lamp so you can turn the lamp on. Usually I also keep my books here. So when I'm reading, I put my books down, then I go to sleep. Some people also keep their glasses and their alarm clock on a nightstand.
Okay.
It's a small table that stands next to your bed.
Very good. And our last word for language takeaway part 1, we have a coffee table.
Okay, so with the coffee table, Marco, we're moving back into the living room. And in the living room, you have a sofa, you have some chairs. You need a table, but you don't want a big table. You want a small table or a very short table. This is a coffee table.
It's called a coffee table. I'm not really sure why. I guess because if you're having coffee in the living room, this is where you put the coffee.
That's right. And we even have something called coffee table books. These are big, beautiful books, hardback books that have many pictures that you put on your coffee table to look nice.
It's not for you to read all the time.
Well, I read them, but it's more important to use these books to look nice. Yes.
And this is interesting though, because in many other countries, they're not really called a coffee table. So a direct translation wouldn't really help you in many cases.
No.
Like I think in Chinese, it's called a tea table, not a coffee table.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like I know in Spanish, it's just called a center table.
Okay. So this is basically the low table you have in your living room next to your sofa, in front of your sofa actually, so you can have tea or coffee and read books.
Or put your feet up while you're watching TV.
Not in my house when I was a kid.
All right. So now why don't we go back, listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be returning a little bit with more vocab.
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at language takeaway part 2.
Language takeaway.
Coming up, we have one of my favorite phrases in the English language. I don't know why I like it so much, but it is a great name for a piece of furniture.
A love seat.
Love seat.
Okay.
Okay.
So it sounds very romantic.
It
love
does.
Seat.
Well, think about a sofa. A sofa can be very large. You can have 4 or 5 people on a sofa.
Right.
But a love seat is a small sofa for 2 people.
Okay. So that's what makes the difference, right? It's a sofa, but only 2 people can sit on this.
That's right. So if it's a big sofa, it's not a love seat.
And what about if it's one, because usually sofa sets, you have a love seat, a big one, and you have one, sometimes an individual one. Do you just call that a chair?
Yep, a chair.
A chair. Okay.
Exactly. We'll come to it in a minute. There's a special kind of chair that it might be, but we're not quite there yet. First, we have another kind of chair, which is very special and reminds me a lot of the 1970s.
Right. We have a bean bag, and this is actually a piece of furniture that's still very popular in many places. And it's called a bean bag because it's a huge bag that is filled with beans.
Right, beans or something soft. And when you sit on it, it looks like a ball, but when you sit on it, it can change shape.
Right, it molds to what shape you are.
And usually they're very light. And a lot of times, I hate to say it, a lot of times bachelors' apartments have these.
That's right. It's actually very cheap piece of furniture, and it's comfortable. Sometimes if you're watching TV, you can just sit on your beanbag and watch TV. Even I know some people may, fall asleep on a beanbag as guests.
I've never slept on, well, maybe once, but I don't remember sleeping on a beanbag. I imagine it's quite uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but,
for your back. But moving on, after a beanbag, which is a good and informal piece of furniture, we have a dining set, which is a lot nicer.
Okay, dining set. All right, so a dining set has many pieces. You have a dining room table.
Right.
And you have chairs. So a set is basically a collection of a table and chairs together.
Sometimes I think it will also include some type of piece of furniture that's next to the dining table where you can keep your plates and you can keep your teacups and all that. What's that called?
That's called a buffet. And that's basically, it's like a dresser for your dining room.
Right, exactly.
It's got like drawers and stuff for your plates, your cups, like you said. And it's next to the dining room table. But the dining room set or the dining set is for the dining room. It's the table where you eat dinner.
Okay, very good. And now moving on to that special chair that I am a big fan of. It's very comfortable to sit on, and it's called a recliner.
Recliner. So we have a word here, recline. It means to lie back, to put your head back, to get comfortable. So a recliner is a chair that you can change the shape of to make you lie down flat. So, when you sit down, you're sitting. But what if you want to lie down in a chair? This chair lets you do that.
And it also, from the bottom part where your feet are, a little thing pops up so you can rest your feet on top of this little extension of the chair.
Okay, so it has a built-in footrest.
Footrest, exactly. So it's very comfortable. It's very popular. If you ever watched the series Friends,
oh yeah,
they have the recliners. It's very comfortable to watch sports. For example, you have your beer.
Joey has his recliner,
Right.
and remember when Joey and Chandler lived together? They have the 2 recliners in front of the TV. Those chairs are recliners, and they're very, very popular.
Actually, they're. I think in the United States, they're very commonly known by the brand Lazy Boy.
That's right. There's a brand. It's not a kind of furniture, but it's the name of the brand. It's Lazy Boy, and they're very, very famous. You're right, Marco, for their reclining chairs.
Exactly. So, Lazy Boys, you may hear it, but the real word for it is called a recliner. So, a lot of interesting pieces of furniture there. I think our house is going to look amazing. So, why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue one last time?
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So, talking about furniture, it's very interesting. How do you take it home? What do you do? And in this case, they were transporting it themselves. And the guy said, I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat. So to drop off.
Okay, this is a great verb, to drop off. It's a verbal phrase. So the preposition there is off, not on.
Right.
So I could say, for example, Marco, I'm just going to drop off my bag at home and then I'll meet you guys for dinner. That means I'm going to go to my house and put down my bag and then I'll leave. So to drop off is basically to go somewhere so you can put something in that place. But it doesn't mean that you're going to go to that place and stay there.
Right. So if I say I'm going to drop off the kids at school, that means I'm going to take the kids and leave them at school and then go away.
It doesn't mean you're going to school yourself.
Right, exactly.
So can you drop off the laundry at the dry cleaners, please?
Very good. So I'm going to take the laundry to the dry cleaners, leave it there, and then go somewhere else.
So what happens at 3 o'clock when the kids are still at school?
That's right. Now we use the opposite verbal phrase, and that is to pick up.
Okay, drop off, pick up.
So you go pick up the kids, you go pick up the laundry.
So this isn't just about picking something up from a table or the ground. You can actually use your car to pick something up.
Right. You go and retrieve it.
So I'm going to the post office to pick up my package.
Very good. So phrases that you're going to have to use if you're talking about furniture, if you're talking about buying something. And while we're on the topic, I know that one of the most popular places to buy furniture is IKEA. Are you a big fan of IKEA?
I like IKEA, and I love what they've done for people who don't want to spend too much money on furniture.
Furniture is expensive.
Furniture is very expensive. You can spend $5,000 on a sofa.
Yeah.
And so IKEA is a wonderful brand and I think a wonderful company because it makes good-looking furniture affordable.
And it's because you put it together yourself, right?
That's right. A lot of things you have to assemble or put together by yourself. So you buy it in a box and then you make it. And it's a little bit frustrating sometimes. But for people like me, and I'm sure people like you, it's part of the fun is putting stuff together.
Yeah, because you kind of feel like you kind of built it, but you really didn't. So it kind of gives you that false sense of accomplishment.
It's like I'm in the 19th century and I can make my own furniture.
So it's very popular. I've actually, and apart from having great furniture, I understand that they have amazing meatballs.
They do. Well, I'm a Swedish. I never get to eat Swedish meatballs, and here in China, they do have some of the better meatballs around. So I would recommend if you haven't tried them, try them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, go to IKEA.
Go to IKEA, have some dinner. Let me know. Our website is englishpod.com. Do you like IKEA and do you love their meatballs?
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A tall lamp with a base that stands on the floor. Floor lamp. A large wardrobe or cabinet. Armoire. A set of shelves usually used for holding clothes. Dresser. A small table or stand placed at a bedside. Nightstand. Small sofa that seats 2 people. Love seat. An armchair that can be reclined. Recliner. During the time you are there. While you are at it.
Let's try that faster.
A large wardrobe or cabinet. Armoire. An armchair that can be reclined. Recliner. During the time you are there. While you are at it. Small sofa that seats 2 people. Love seat. A set of shelves usually used for holding clothes. Dresser. A tall lamp with a base that stands on the floor. Floor lamp. A small table or stand placed at a bedside. Nightstand.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Armoire. My sister prefers armoires to dressers because she can see everything at once. Armoire. My room doesn't have a closet, so I use an armoire instead. Armoire. He gazed longingly at the antique armoire, with its carved wood and faded paintings, but he only had $50 in his pocket. Dresser. Please make sure you put your clothes away in your dresser. Dresser. He took some change out of the piggy bank on his dresser. Dresser. I opened up the dresser door and hid my diary underneath the clothes. Love seat. My parents have a wooden love seat on their front porch. Love seat. Love seats are much cozier than couches. Love seat. I curled up next to my husband on the love seat. While you're at it. While you're at it, can you take the clothes out of the dryer? While you're at it. While you're at it, can you make sure the dogs have enough water in their bowl? While you're at it. Can you pick up some coffee while you're at it? Recliner. After a hard day's work, my father would always sink into his leather recliner and watch the news. Recliner. A recliner is a special chair designed so that you can sit upright or recline back with your feet up. Recliner. It wasn't until a few hours later that I discovered the chair I was sitting on was a recliner.